The recent reciprocal tariffs imposed by Donald Trump on China specifically, but on many other high production countries around the world have really had a huge impact on dropshipping. If you currently run a dropshipping business, then you've come to the right video, because today I'm going to explain exactly the impacts that your business will face, and I'm also going to discuss some alternatives for you that I'm currently pursuing for my own online business. What do these new tariffs mean for you? If you're a dropshipper currently and you bring in your goods directly from China, so you dropship using AliExpress, Alibaba, whatever it might be. You don't bring in inventory, you just do direct from China dropshipping for singular items. So far, you've been using something called the minimis exemption, which means that for goods under $800, they would be able to come into the United States duty free. You wouldn't have to pay anything on them, and they wouldn't have to go through a formal entry process with United States Customs and Border Control. But the minimis was revoked exactly 4 days ago on May 2nd, which means that everything that enters the United States now from China has to go through the formal entry process, even if it is below a declared value of $800, which is going to create huge issues for you. Say you're dropshipping a product that costs $10. Now you or your customer, or most likely your customer, are going to be liable to pay this newly imposed tariff, or else they're not going to release the product. The shipping carrier is not going to release the product for your customer. Items valued at below $800 are now subject to a tax of 120% of the package's value, or a flat fee of $100 per package. This rises to $200 per package in June. They will be charged these tariffs. Whichever one is highest is the one that will be charged. So say your customer buys a $2 product, well, they're going to be charged the $100 per package because that is higher. Say they buy a $400 product, which previously would enter duty free again, now it needs to go through the formal process, and they will be charged 120% of the package's value. So that $200 product is now going to come out to a cost of over $400, which is absolute insanity. But it doesn't end there. There's going to be more fees, and this is what a lot of people are not aware of that I need to bring your attention to. You see, last month, or actually a few months ago in February, I was a victim to the removal. I was an early little test subject, little victim to the removal of the minimis when it was removed for 2 to 3 days. So I had a package come in, but not only was I charged tariffs and taxes on this package, you also have to take account of carrier fees. So UPS, FedEx and DHL are going to charge you their own fees on top of the tariffs to get your package through customs. Previously, it didn't have to go through a formal entry process with customs because it was under $800. Now that it does, they need to fill out paperwork on your behalf, and they need to go through a procedure and a process on your behalf to get your package through that formal entry and release to eventually be able to deliver it to your house. This procedure and this process is not included in your shipping costs. So they will charge you an additional fee for this. In my case, UPS charged me an additional $100 fee. No, actually more. It was about $150. They charged me an additional $150 fee on top of the taxes, on top of the government charges. Think of all of this stuff that I told you the government is going to charge. UPS, FedEx, and DHL are going to charge you that same amount on top of it. Sometimes they'll throw into their warehousing fees. They'll just charge you a bunch of bullshit. Pretty much they have free reign to charge you as many additional charges as they want, because there is no standard, because this is all brand new to them as well. So they're obviously going to take advantage of it until customers start complaining and kind of cause a ruckus. So moral of the story here is dropshipping from China to the United States is dead. Essentially, it's dead. Now, that's not what the whole video is about. This video is about for people like me, or if you are a dropshipper, yeah, it's pretty much done. You're gonna need to look for a new solution. Or if you're like me and you bring in your inventory from China with a Chinese manufacturer, and it usually comes in packages that are below the $800 value. So I bring in a couple a month of those. Now we need to find new manufacturers. Now, unfortunately for us, it's time to look elsewhere, but elsewhere in Asia isn't looking too good, with Vietnam, the other production countries, Vietnam being hit with 46% tariffs, Sri Lanka 44%, Cambodia 49%. So all the manufacturing textile hubs where this industry is very, very strong have been hit with insane tariffs, making it very hard to produce there. So you're probably thinking, well, get your stuff manufactured in America anyway. Come over here. Why are you buying stuff from elsewhere? Made in America, blah, blah, blah. If you're thinking of making or manufacturing in America, especially clothing, I went through that process for you, right? Because I was the same. I said, okay, well, let's see what it looks like here. Let me try to find a local manufacturer and support local businesses. And so here are some prices that I was given from a local manufacturer that's about an hour or two away. $500 per sample, okay? $800 per pattern, $500 for grading, and $500 per tech pack, bringing us to a total of $2,300 to produce one sample, one item, right? And then on top of that, we haven't even gotten into the cost to actually the cut and sew and to put all this together. This local manufacturer that I found was just cut and sew. They didn't have any fabrics. So to actually start producing what I wanted to produce, I would have also had to buy the fabric. And if you have an MOQ, in this case, under 300 pieces, they would charge you per hour. So we already know they're going to charge about $40 to $50 per hour. Essentially, just to get your foot into the door and produce, let's say, 150 pieces of an item, just one single item, probably in like one or two different colors, 3 different sizes, is gonna cost you upwards of $10,000 to $15,000 once you take into account the cost of the actual production, right? If you want to produce 4 different items, I had done some calculations for my case, and it came out to about over $20,000 to produce 4 different styles and get the patterns for all of those and get the grading and all that. So as you can see, manufacturing in America, especially for a small up and coming business, or even if you're pretty established, is going to be extremely costly. Like next level profits are going to be almost impossible. And when I came to think of it, I thought if manufacturing and producing in America had any even chance of being profitable, then all the very large brands, the corporations, they would manufacture here because they'd get a ton of tax cuts and all of that. But even take into account all of that, it's still impossible, and they're producing millions of units, right? So if you have a small business, a small clothing brand, and you're looking to manufacture in the US, it's essentially impossible. Now, I'm not saying don't go and try and maybe dig and find other manufacturers. Now, I looked in my state in Massachusetts, I looked around in surrounding states, I got some quotes from Texas as well. Not only are the prices extremely high, but the technology in the United States, the textile industry as a whole, is very lacking. So I would send them some of the samples that I already have for my athleisure wear brand that I wanted to manufacture. And they tell me, well, we actually don't have the technology to do the scrunch in the back, or we don't have the technology to add this, or we don't know how to put this together. We can't do the flat lock seams that you're looking for. We only have this kind of seam. So the prices are extremely high. The industry is lacking in terms of technology and innovation, and also, and on honesty, the treatment, how they treat you as a small business, is not very nice. I wasn't treated very well. They'd be very rude, very short on the phone, and it just didn't make for a good experience at all. So here's where the other opportunity comes in. Latin America. Latin America already has a pretty flourishing textile industry with actually my print on demand side of things. A lot of the sweatshirts and t-shirts are manufactured in Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua. Some are made in Guatemala as well, but they also didn't face as harsh of tariffs as these other Asian nations did. So in Latin America, most of the reciprocal tariffs come out to about 10%, which is kind of the low end of all the reciprocal tariffs. And also, if you're looking at a country like El Salvador, which has a developed textile industry, is also building very strong political ties with the United States, that looks like a high potential place to manufacture, both for the present and for the long term, where you can get your stuff up and running there and you will be charged favorable prices. Now, I also did some work here, and specifically I focused on Mexico due to the USMCA trade agreement between the United States, Canada, and Mexico that allows goods to be transported or enter from Mexico duty-free and still maintain the de minimis exemption. That's still going for Mexico as well, as long as the country of origin is Mexico. So I want you to keep this in mind when you go and speak to manufacturers in Mexico and Colombia and El Salvador, wherever it is that you go. Ask them, are the fabrics originally from Mexico? Are they from your country? Or have these fabrics been brought from China? Now, why I prefer Mexico as a production destination is because of also the distance. It's very, very close. So if you pick your manufacturers in the north of Mexico, they can get your goods into Texas very quickly through land transport. So the shipping costs are also going to be incredibly low. The time that it'll take will be very, very quick. So as I said, there I presented to you some of the options that you have. I mean, essentially, if you're dropshipping clothes or if you're dropshipping whatever from China, I don't think that's gonna have much of a future unless the minimus gets revoked. But that model of drop shipping cheap goods directly from China was already kind of dying. It was already on the downturn. With these tariffs, it kind of sealed as the last nail in the coffin for that sort of business. Look to Latin America. Definitely check out the opportunities there. They have a lot of great expanding economies. The people are very, very friendly. They want to do business. They will welcome you to their country if you're looking to go and visit the manufacturer. And you can have a very hands-on process because the distance is closer in terms of shipping. But also, if you were to travel there, as I will be doing, the tickets are going to be cheap. You speak the language as well. If you speak Spanish, it's going to make things a lot easier. So I definitely think that's going to be an advantage, that I'm going to be able to communicate directly with the manufacturer without using a translator, as the case would be if I were to go to Vietnam or China or Cambodia or in Asia. So you can build a closer relationship. And all in all, this could be a blessing in disguise, honestly. You build a closer relationship, you are more hands-on with the production process, and the tariffs eliminate Chinese competition. So honestly, I always think about it as this way: when one door closes, another door opens, or many other doors open, and in this case, many other doors will open. So keep your head up. Don't give up on your e-commerce business. Don't give up on your clothing brand. More opportunities are coming. I will show you the behind the scenes of the process in Mexico, and as I go through it myself more, I will be able to give you better guidance advice, and some step-by-step plan essentially to get your business back up and running. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.